Are we live? Boom. Finally we're live. Um, it wouldn't be a United Philosophy stream if my laptop didn't crash, or if Google didn't work, or if YouTube didn't work, or if OBS did not work. But I think we're good to go. Okay, stream seems healthy, camera looks good, audio is on, so all is good with me. But not everything's Google United. Let's start off at the beginning. So obviously a very good start to that match. Jadon Sancho making it 1-0 after just 7 minutes. So great start. We really did well early on that match. We created some really good opportunities. Took our chances as well. We went into halftime 2-0 up. I thought, that would be that. Spurs, no real fighting in the first half. I don't know what happened in the second half, because all of a sudden Spurs came out, played us off the park. United, we just sat back, we let it happen. So frustrating. But it's good. Let me just check this here, guys. Because YouTube never works on my end, I'm just gonna put it on my phone at the same time. So that just lets me see what you guys are saying. I'm making sure everything's all good. So yes, so obviously Spurs came into it in the second half because a very poor first goal to concede. Obviously, fantastic finish from Pedro Porro, but what was the real problem was you could see it coming. I sat for 10-20 seconds. I saw Ivan Perisic in about 50 yards of space on the left-hand side. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, very poor match from him. Looked like he had never come up against a wing-back system who played 3 or 5 at the back. He just didn't know whether to go with the inside runner, go with the outside. With the full-back, he wasn't sure on his role, and he struggled in that one. What's good, Daniel, man? Just spotting you in the comments there. Disappointing collapse today. What's good? And yeah, very disappointing. Yeah, man, completely agree. Like, very, very disappointing. Something that, like, shouldn't be happening. I think it's why United are where we are, because I mean, if we didn't drop silly points like this, we would probably be closer to Man City and Arsenal this season. But we are where we are for a reason. We drop these points. We do it on a pretty consistent basis. It's disappointing, but things do need improved. We need to keep on progressing as a team, and hopefully eventually we will get there. Yeah, so I think what we have to say on tonight's match is just like, so frustrating to put yourself in the position to win and then bottle it yourselves. And I think that's my most frustrating thing. But guys, get your thoughts in down below as well. We are running a poll. So who was the man of the match for you guys today? Of course, Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, Luke Shaw, Diogo Jota up there. Rashford up there with 2 of the votes already. Certainly well ahead. But guys, keep your thoughts coming in on the chat, in the poll as well. Yeah, so looks like my YouTube has froze, which is fantastic. So I'm just gonna quickly put the chat up on my phone, and we'll read it from there, because we make do with what we get here on the channel. Honestly, man, I swear every time I try to do live, everything seems to go wrong with either laptop, internet, whatever. But we persevere, we keep going. So I thought it was a disappointing result, but I think it is one that we can take some positives from. We can accept now that it's very likely we will finish in the top 4. Of course, Spurs 2 matches played, more than us. We're 6 points ahead of them. I think we'll be okay in that regard. I also think in regards with Aston Villa, they're probably too far ahead of us as well. I think we'll be good on that regard. So I think it's disappointing. Obviously, we want to be further ahead. We want to be winning these types of matches, and I've no doubt we will get there. But we do have a couple of things to go through on the show. So one of the big things that I think we need to address is the standard of our squad, and I've put it in the title for a reason. We are exceptionally reliant on 3 midfielders to basically dictate our entire tempo across the season. Eriksen, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes. Now, Bruno Fernandes, the guy is just a freak of nature. never gets injured, always has full of energy, and is able to run all day seemingly. But Eriksen, Casemiro, they do not have that sort of level of stamina. And whenever we bring in our subs, when we bring in like a Fred, a McTominay, the levels drop, and we're left in a situation: do we pick the players we know are really good, which we usually do, and that just leads to them becoming burnt out, and ultimately that's what's cost us in this last couple of matches. I think we're experiencing severe burnout. We've played so many matches in the last couple of weeks and months, but I think there's a bit of an overreaction to tonight's result. Obviously, it's very disappointing. We want to see more from United. We want to go on, win these matches, attack, score goals. But with the context of the season, of what we're trying to accomplish, it's not a bad result, if that makes sense. Because we should have won regardless, but we probably will still finish top 4. Spurs now have 5 matches left to play. We have 7. Spurs are 6 points behind us, so that would of course require quite a swing. Spurs would almost certainly have to win the last 5 matches of the season. They won't do that, and we're looking very good for top 4. Sunday will be a big match, make no mistake about it. We take on Aston Villa, so that certainly will be difficult. They're playing very well under Unai Emery, and then after that we go away to Brighton. Another difficult match, of course, as well, but I actually think United are in a position where we could probably afford to lose those matches and we could still finish top 4. We are in a very strong position for it, and let's just hope in the next couple of weeks we still that up and we go on. We have an FA Cup final still to come, something to look forward to at the end of the season, so that will be worthwhile. That will be something that Ten Hag and United will be thinking about certainly in the upcoming weeks. But I really think that tonight it was just quite disappointing, all things considered. So, quick check here as well. I'll look at the stats with you guys. We can start to see some of the issues we had tonight. So, obviously, a lot of possession, almost 60%. Now, that's a very high figure. United, we don't typically have that amount of possession, that amount of control across the game. So, first of all, I'm asking, what are we doing with the ball? We were held a lot of the ball with Luke Shaw, with Lindelof in and around our backline, but we didn't create enough with it. If you look at City stats from last night, I'm sure they had 20 plus shots, 15 plus shots on target, really high numbers. We only had 8 shots on target, so that does show a lack of cutting edge to create these really good opportunities, but it also shows that we should be scoring more. Your normal conversion rate is roughly 1 in 4 shots hit the target. 1 in 3 shots that hit the target end up in the back of the net. So we probably should have went on to score around 3 goals. That's certainly what the rest of the data says, what the rest of the stats show us as well. But it's disappointing. I think we let Spurs back into a match. What's Daniel saying? This means you would have lost 6-1 to Newcastle as well. No, man, no. We did get beat by Newcastle, but it was only 2-0, so like it's okay because we beat them 2-0 in the cup final, so it all evens itself out. Like, it's just swings and roundabouts. So I am trying my best to read the chat here as we go along. So it is a little bit difficult because YouTube and Google just decide that my laptop doesn't deserve to work, which is very frustrating when you guys are trying to do live with you guys. But keep those thoughts coming, guys. Keep voting on those polls as well. We can see Marcus Rashford well ahead in the Man of the Match poll for tonight's match. It actually does look like I've got a live chat, and it's just my live feed that isn't working. I can work with that. I'm sure you guys can as well. But yeah, so a lot of things we want to get talking on the show tonight. It isn't just United reaction. It will also be bit of a news show as well. We did one of these the other night. You guys really enjoyed it, so we thought we would bring it back, of course. So, big news coming out, and just while we wait for quotes and before we get on to the rest of the show, The big news coming out from Manchester United tonight is, of course, that Jim Ratcliffe wants to buy into Manchester United, but he would allow the Glazers to stay at the club. This would be in some type of role, I guess, where the Glazers become like the decision makers and Jim Ratcliffe becomes the money man. I don't know. It seems a ridiculous proposition. Jim Ratcliffe obviously knows what he's doing in terms of business, but I mean, come on, man. Keeping the Glazers there, that's just not what we're doing. Rashford mentality. Yeah, man. Good goal from him tonight. Had a couple of good efforts as well. 29 for the season. I can't complain too much about him. I think our issue is the further back the pitch. I think the second goal comes almost exclusively because David De Gea boots the ball long to nobody under no pressure whatsoever. The ball comes back down the other end. Now, don't get me wrong, Malacia, Fred, they both get sucked towards the ball. Harry Kane, he sees the acres of space ahead of him. He just exploits that as you would expect him to. But it was disappointing. It was a poor goal to concede. It all could have been prevented with a bit of better distribution from David De Gea. But that is something he can do. That is something that David De Gea has done in the past, of course, is just launch the ball long and create issues for us. But certainly a lot of the subs didn't work out tonight. I'm sure you guys agree as well. Fred, very, very poor when he came off the bench. Weghorst didn't offer a lot. I probably would have put Sabitzer on instead of Fred. I think he get a bit more quality further up the pitch with Sabitzer. So he probably would have been my personal choice to have come on. Other than that, I can't really fault Erik ten Hag too much. I mean, the guys working with a bench of Fred, Sabitzer, Weghorst, Martial, and Anthony Elanga. I mean, there is a limit to this squad, no matter how much we think we can get more out of it. The truth is that there is a ceiling to the squad's potential, and the amount of matches, I think we kind of are at that point where we cannot go any further. We need further reinforcements, both to the squad and to the first team as well. I think like if you had a proper backup where you could rest Casemiro during Europa League matches or FA Cup matches during the week, I think you see a better version of him. I also think that our lack of depth with midfielders is a real concern, especially Christian Eriksen. You're looking at a guy who is fantastic in his own right, but he cannot do it all by himself. He is constantly forced to be overplayed. Daniel in there asking for player ratings, man. So that's actually our next segue here. So, of course, got to hydrate as well whilst we do the player ratings. So yeah, just let me pull these up in front of me because I don't actually have them on me. There we go. So David De Gea, I'm giving a 6 out of 10. So now, apologies for that. Some people might think that's a little bit harsh, but hear me out. Very good saves. Yes, but I mean, he completely cost us issues as well. That second goal came from his poor distribution. Just kicked it to nobody. The ball came straight back the other end. Spurs equalised. First goal, arguably as well, he should be coming out claiming the cross from the melee in front of him. There were several players there, but your goalkeeper has to be brave in that situation. So De Gea's going to get a 6. Moving on to the back line, I guess. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, probably a 6 out of 10. Now, his individual defending was quite good whenever he was up against Richarlison individually or Perisic individually. What happened to Aaron Wan-Bissaka was he struggled to adapt and struggled to cope with the style of play the Spurs were implementing. He did not know what to do against the wing backs. Perisic was hugging that byline and Richarlison was running up the inside of him, so that left Wan-Bissaka caught in no man's land. Didn't get enough help from Anthony in my opinion, but not the best from Wan-Bissaka. Lindelof, a little bit shaky as well. Wasn't overly impressed with his performance. A couple of times he was muscled off the ball too easily, but I was impressed with Luke Shaw. I think Shaw had a very good match in this one, covering well, doing as best he can at centre back. And I mean, we're in the position now where our left back is playing better at centre-back than Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire is meant to be our club captain, and yet we all feel safer with Luke Shaw, who is not a centre-back, playing in that position. I mean, if that doesn't just show you the levels of Harry Maguire, I do not know what will. Other than that, moving on to Diogo Dalot, I thought just a pretty average performance, 6 out of 10 for me. Midfield, disappointing further back. I think Eriksen some very nice passes in that first half, but he tired out and really struggled in the second half. Casemiro just looks tired. He looks like he needs a break from the team. We need to be able to rest the guy, get him some rotation when available so that he can be at his best for us. There's no point having great players if they're not going to be fit enough or ready enough to go out and perform well for you, and that's what we have to do. We have to manage him as best we can. Bruno, on the other hand, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10 to. I thought he was brilliant tonight. Great assist for Rashford's goal. He was absolutely everywhere, and as always, Bruno Fernandes fights through the pain. He has never missed a match in his career with an injury. Like, that is absolutely unbelievable. The only matches he has missed was one match he missed for United when he had COVID, and that was it. I mean, the guy's commitment, the guy's talent and dedication is absolutely fantastic, and I can never fault him on that. So moving into the forward line, Sancho going to get a 6 out of 10. Probably his best performance for several weeks, which does say a lot considering he didn't really do very much after the first 20 minutes, but very good start to the match, good goal, took it really well, created some decent chances, so I was impressed with him in that respect. Moving on to Rashford, going to give a 7 out of 10. He was our most dangerous attacker all night. Some really good opportunities. And another night, he probably could have scored at least one more goal. Antony, going to give a 5 out of 10 as well. Pretty quiet by his standards. Not his best match. He did put some very nice crosses across the box. And we see United's need to go out in the market in the summer, bring in a top level striker. Because if we have that, we probably win this match, because we created chances, we just could not take them. And that's been the story of our season all year long. And Erik ten Hag, get that man a striker, and let's see what this team can do with some proper support, some proper firepower, and some proper goal scoring in and around the penalty box. So Daniel, man, there is your match ratings. For me, solid ratings, boss. Good to see you're agreeing with that, man. So Daniel, if you want, man, you can vote for your man of the match as well. Poll is in the comments, and the same goes for everybody else as well. Keep voting on that poll. Who was your man of the match in today's match? Marcus Rashford, 3 votes, and he is 100% of the vote. Everybody loving Rashford tonight, clearly. So, on to the next section. So, as always, we will bring you the latest news from Manchester United. Erik ten Hag has been speaking to the media following this match. He says we didn't block the crosses or the shot, we didn't squeeze it out, and it was easy for them to score. And I think that's something that we've seen all season long, and it is very frustrating, because if we just stop the cross, we won't concede these headed goals. It's very simple, but we don't do it. Like, we never ever stop the cross. Like, even if it's Shaw or Wan-Bissaka, Dalot, no matter who it is, we let the cross go into the box with the expectation that our centre-backs will deal with it, which is very naive, very frustrating. Of course, having a goalkeeper who doesn't like coming off his line too much also can be a little bit challenging in those situations, of course. Daniel in there with my goat tonight, Harry Maguire, for staying off the pitch. Yeah, man, I think Maguire's injured, unfortunately for him. So, of course, we will be seeing more of Luke Shaw at centre-back in the weeks to come. Disappointing draw. I think that's the most important, like, the best way to sum it up tonight. Erik ten Hag, of course, saying he could see the goal coming. He had the subs ready, but by that point, it was too late. Yeah, I mean, it was one of them, man. Daniel with the time to get Solskjaer back on the bench. I mean, he will probably score more goals than Weghorst in this team, even though he is like 50. I'm sure Aldi would probably still know where the back of the net was, but disappointing night, and it's just another one of these nights. We've had so many of them. I remember sitting here with the exact same thoughts after Crystal Palace, after Arsenal, after matches where we've just gifted teams back into the lead. So frustrating. Whenever you have a match in that position, you go on, you win that match, and that's the most important. That's the most important thing for me. You cannot be letting those leads slip. And this is why we are in the position we are. We should be further ahead. We should already have secured Champions League football, in my opinion, but we have not done that as of yet, and we still have a fight on our hands, and it will be difficult to get there, guys. But keep your thoughts coming, guys. Keep voting on the poll. Who was your man of the match in tonight's match? Marcus Rashford with 100% the vote. But keep your votes coming, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and yeah, we'll keep on moving on with the show. So we have an issue that we want to discuss, and it comes with some of the news breaking today about Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Now, as we know, Manchester United are up for sale. This is a well-known fact at this point, and we have been up for sale for many, many months. But Jim Ratcliffe news has come out today from Mike Keegan in the Daily Mail. So Jim Ratcliffe is proposing an alternative arrangement where he uses his money to buy out the Glazers' remaining siblings, leaving Joel and Avram Glazer at the club, which would also mean that due to the rules of the stock type and how the Glazers have set that up, means that the Glazer brothers would have complete control over Manchester United still, with all the voting rights. Is that what we want? No, it's not, and it's completely disgraceful that that's even coming out, that that's even a possibility. I think more and more my mind is being made up on who would probably be the better owner for Manchester United, and with that comes a whole other cause of issues. But what we will go back onto is the match tonight, and Erik ten Hag, as always, has been speaking to the press. Now, Erik ten Hag, he's always very honest in his interviews. We do get quite a lot out of him during these interviews after the match, and it's always good to see his thoughts and how he perceives the match, because very often we see Ten Hag calling it as it is, perhaps not going quite as hard in as Ralph Rangnick did, but he's an honest guy, of course. So Erik ten Hag has said, of course, when you're 2-0 down, you're a little bit disappointed. When you draw, it's obvious we had the chances for 3-1, but after this week, 2-2 is a good draw. I'm not too sure about that one. I don't know if it was a good week for me personally. We had to do more this season. We had to go out and we had to keep on winning towards the end of the season. I think Daniel's summed it up very nicely there in the comments. He has said, just got to hold out for the next couple of games and secure that top 4 finish. Yeah, that's what I think is going to be key. I think finishing in the top 4 is going to be so crucial to this team, because that means we can go out in the transfer window, bring in some big players, some big name players who can really help develop this team, push us on to another level. But guys, you can see some more people joining in, so welcome to the stream, welcome to the channel. If you guys are new, of course, get voting on the poll, and as always, if you are new, you want to join in with the community here on the channel, you guys know what to do. Smash that sub button, join in today, and we are getting very close to the next milestone. Of course, we have absolutely smashed through 500 subscribers in the last couple of days, thanks to your guys' amazing support. So up next, we're going to go for 600. Not getting too far ahead of ourselves at the minute. But yeah, we'll keep on grinding here on the show. Plenty of things still to get through as well, and of course we will have all the news coming out very shortly after the embargo is lifted on the press, so expect some news, some stories, some quotes from Manchester United in the next couple of minutes. I think it can be described as a loss, says Erik ten Hag, very disappointing. Yeah, I completely agree with him as well. We have the worst schedule in the Premier League, but that should not be an excuse. Today we didn't look ready. Some thought 90% was enough. Yeah, I mean, this is a common trait, something that I've noticed this last couple of weeks, something that has plagued us all season long. You comment in there from Elimination there, saying this was a very painful match. Yeah, completely agree with that, my friend. Very painful match. It was one of those where we could see what was happening. We saw the match slowly slipping away from us, and Spurs punished us. Now, if Bruno Fernandes scored that chance when he hit the crossbar, different story. I think we go on to win the match in that position, but it's 2 points dropped, but it might not be that bad, all things considered, because Spurs are our closest rivals for a top 4 finish, and now we are 6 points clear of them with 2 matches in hand, and Tottenham only have 5 matches left, so they have to go and win every single match to have a realistic hope of finishing in the top 4. But I'm hoping we can just hold on, see it through, and come summertime we go out and strengthen our team, get better in several key areas. And I think tonight really shows the need for a goal scorer. First and foremost is a goal scorer, because simply put, whenever we create these great chances, we see Bruno, Eriksen, Anthony, Sancho, Rashford creating great chances, cutbacks, crosses, and there's nobody there. It is so frustrating to watch, because it's one of those ones, because so many times when you watch top teams, say like a Man City, you can see the goal coming before it's in the back of the net. And when we watch United, we can see the setup for the goal, but we don't see the goal. And that's the most frustrating part. We do everything else right, but we cannot put the ball in the back of the net. But guys, I can see some more people joining in. So if you want to join in with the channel and you want to join in with the poll on today's match, we currently have a man of the match poll running in the comments. So guys, at the minute, Marcus Rashford has all the votes on it. So Marcus Rashford clearly going to get the very prestigious United Philosophy Man of the Match. Elimination says wish to kept Eriksen on for longer. Yeah, completely agree. I think a lot of people, like Fred, myself included, but when he came on, it didn't help us. It was in the wrong type of situation. I think if we kept Eriksen on, we probably could have seen it out for a little bit longer. You comment in there as well. Orbs in there with 3rd place. Good to see you again, man. Really appreciate the support on all the videos as well. Also, keep up your own videos. Love those compilations that you have been doing on your own channel. But yeah, I mean, I think if we kept Eriksen on, like Elimination said, we probably hold on in that match. Fred's a great player, very useful at times when he comes on, runs around, makes some tackles, wins the ball back. But whenever you're in a position where you want to take the sting out of a match, you want to control the tempo, Fred's not your guy. Christian Eriksen is, because Eriksen comes on, he passes the ball around, he creates a couple of opportunities. We hold the ball and we don't give silly chances away. And ultimately we did the Daniel in there as well. Oh man. Well, it's better than the Eric 10-month suck we had at the start of the season. I don't think he's going to be sacked anytime soon. Luckily for him, lucky for us as well, because I think he's a top manager, man. But I think we're just really at a point where this is as far as the team can go this season, finishing top 4, and then let's see what we can do in the FA Cup final. I think that's what the season's going to come down to. But make no mistake about it, this season will not be a success or a failure if we win or lose the FA Cup final. What matters most is trying to get that top 4 finish. If we get that, and we've already won the League Cup, that's a great season in my books and a real sign of progression. FA Cup would be a bonus, of course, but I'm more than happy if United just go out, finish top 4, already won a trophy. I think that's a good season. Shows progress, shows development in the squad, in the team, and ultimately that's all we could have asked for this season. Oh man. Sorry guys, my like allergies are really bugging me at the minute, man. Elimination with the I'm looking forward to the summer transfers. Yeah, man, completely agree. Really looking forward to the summer transfer window. Think it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a big one. I think really, we're going to see the development of the squad, new players brought in, and hopefully we can become a better and stronger team because of it. And I certainly do think that there's a real potential for it. Certainly with top 4 finish, very exciting, because Erik ten Hag, I think his signings have been absolutely perfect so far. I think when we look at Sabitzer, come in, done a really good job in January. I think Weghorst has done a pretty good job considering his level of ability. Anthony is a very talented player who will only get better, in my opinion. Casemiro, Lisandro Martinez have been excellent signings. Christian Eriksen as well, really good. Tyrell Malacia as well. I mean, Malacia is a very good squad player. He comes in, he does a good job for the team. He doesn't demand to start every week, and I think that his track record and his level of performance this season just shows that he deserves to go out and have proper backing. Go out and hopefully bring in a couple of new players. We covered, of course, one of those players linked to Manchester United this week with Jeremy Frimpong. We were also going to do another video perhaps on Frankie de Jong as well, as he came second in a poll that we ran. So if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments as well. That poll actually is still running as well, so if you want to vote on it as well, you guys know what to do. It's just on that community tab, of course. But I think exciting transfer window coming up. Really looking forward to it. Going to be great to cover on the channel, and I'm looking forward to it. So just been saying something. Barcelona are selling half of their NFT rights for 200 million. I don't know, man. NFTs, I don't really get it. Eric Ten Hag says if we win on Sunday, if we win on Sunday, it'll be a great week, but we have to get there first. We need all our energy, recover, get ready, rest, and get ready for the match. And Eric Ten Hag has accused some players of only operating at a 90%. Obviously, you need to give it all for. In professional football, you need to keep on working. Some players came on and they just tried to breeze through the match. Very disappointing to see that level of commitment, that level of performance, and it isn't the first time. And I think Eric Ten Hag will know what players he is talking about. He will know he has let him down. And we've seen this so many times this season. We've seen it against Liverpool, against Newcastle. We've been outfought, outworked, and those are matches where you deserve to lose or drop points. Players seemingly came on in the second half and they were very content just to pass the ball around, kind of like put half the effort in they needed to, just kind of hope that Spurs didn't catch them out, and it was disappointing. It's happened so many times this season, but hopefully with a bit of a summer clear out that we can avoid situations like that in the future, of course. But yeah, so with all that said, we're going to quickly move on to a bit of Manchester United news for you guys coming up. So, latest Manchester United news, of course, is breaking, and there was talk, of course, about the Glazers and Jim Ratcliffe earlier perhaps doing a deal whereby Jim Ratcliffe would buy out the Glazer siblings who wanted to leave the club, and Joel and Avram Glazer, the two Glazers we see most often, they would stay on. Now, this would be a horrendous deal for Manchester United and a horrendous deal for Jim Ratcliffe as well. Surely something he cannot take, because that means he will stay on not only as the Glazers would stay on whilst Ratcliffe pumps his money into the club. They would retain all the control, all the voting rights. So Ratcliffe would basically just be giving the Glazers their money. Like, I mean, it seems daft. It seems so pointless. And he honestly should walk away from a deal like that. I do think that Qatar probably will win that bid and probably become the new owners of Manchester United in the next couple of weeks. But we will see what happens on that front, of course. So guys, any more thoughts? Keep voting on the poll down below. Really helps the channel out, and it's great to have you guys with us after the match. Of course, we are live after every single match this season, because there's always thoughts, there's always views to get out there, and we are here for you guys to share your views and engage with an active community here on the channel. So with that in mind, I think I'm just going to leave the stream here, guys. So thank you very much for joining in with us tonight. If you guys are new and you want to join in, smash that sub button. Really helps us out, and I will see you in the next one.